Hello, I'm Patrick Prince of the Tulsa World. Today I'm joined by someone very familiar to local high school football fans, former Booker T. Washington star Micah Tease, who after 2 years in College Station at Texas A&M has decided to come home and become a Tulsa Golden Hurricane. Micah, really appreciate your time today. You and I talked a couple years ago, had a great talk then. Looking forward to today. Thank you for your time. Let's just start with YTU.
To be honest, it was the opportunity. Getting in the portal, it could be a little foreign and a little scary. It's a lot of people in there. It's a lot of kids looking for opportunity, a place to land. So me getting in the portal and just ciphering through the different coaches reaching out, and I happened to be home at the time, and Coach Switz, he just reached out to me and really just told me to just come by and let's just have a conversation. I don't think Coach Lamb was in office yet, but he was supposed to get here like a couple days after the next day. And ultimately, I just came up here, just to see what he had to say. I felt like it was a fair opportunity. And the more we got to talking, the more we got to, see what we have in common and the common goals. I mean, it just felt like a perfect fit.
What are those common goals?
To be honest, it could, where should I go? As far as like what I'm looking for inside of a team, inside of a coach, how I want to be developed necessarily. You want to be around somebody who's going to go through a brick wall for you, and that I just feel like that reciprocates from my end too. So definitely being around Coach Switz, great football IQ, great football coach. The staff as well as around Coach Lamb, Coach Gray, Coach Martin, everybody, Coach Robbins, everybody that the staff that they put together. It's a good, well meshed staff, and it's home. It's home. Yeah, it's not the SEC. I'm coming from the SEC down to, but it's home. It's still football. I mean, it's still Division I football, and I'm home. Like my family gets to see me more often. I think that was the biggest separation factor. Like just my family being able to get to see me more.
So you went to the TU campus that day.
Mm-hmm.
How long was that conversation?
Briefly about 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes.
Were you, was it a done deal at that point in your mind, or did you still have some consideration?
Well, I still have some consideration, but I mean, at that time, I was definitely like, okay, like, sometimes you can't just overpass opportunities like when it's literally right there in your face. So it was just kind of like, okay, let me just kind of decipher through all these other coaches reaching out, and then I guess I have a response for you.
Did a lot of coaches reach out once you entered the portal?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I'm be honest, it was somewhat up and down. I mean, you go 2 years at A&M and you're playing here and there, but not, just as much. I mean, you would expect more, but I mean, it's the portal. It's the portal. It's a lot of people that's reaching out. It's a lot of people in there.
So when you enter the portal, how
Mhm.
do teams contact you?
Typically, it depends. It's the portal is kind of about like who you know. It's not about like whether you're a good player. Yeah, you'll be recruited, but essentially, like if you're kind of in the middle and you're just trying to find a new spot, it's about who you know. So usually, like people who've already previously recruited you, previously contacted you, like coaches that you were, I guess, the coaches that you've had the tightest bond with during the recruitment process. Those are typically the ones to reach out first.
So if not to you, where would you might have gone?
I'd rather not say.
After the meeting with TU, how
Mhm.
soon did you make your decision?
It was within a week.
Okay. And the final tipping point was what?
The opportunity, the opportunity for sure. And then for two, it was my family situation, to be honest. Like my family, they were always able to come to games. That was never a problem. But like my whole family, like my village, that's where I was getting at, like where I wanted to be able to, I wanted them to see me play, like they've seen me grow up and play, but I wanted them to see this next chapter with me and I wanted them to experience it with me. So I think it was just being able to come back home and play in front of my family, my village, my friends. That was the overall selling point.
Now you have 3 years at TU, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what does a successful season look like for you this season?
Personally or as a team goal?
Well, let's start with you and then we'll ask about the team.
Personally, I see myself making first team All American. AAC, and really looking to be one of the best returning receivers in the country. I mean, with Coach Swiss around, I mean, the offense that we're installing, I mean, the spring, how it's going, is looking pretty bright. It's looking pretty bright. But hard work and consistency, that's just what we're on right now.
Lofty goals.
Hmm.
Okay, how about the team? What does success look like for Trey Lamb and the University of Tulsa this season?
A turnaround,
Yeah.
turnaround. Last year it wasn't looking as bright. Had a few internal issues, but it's definitely a turnaround. It's definitely a better, well meshed team. Everybody's playing for each other and not just selfish, internal goals. I ultimately feel like it's a great year for the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. It's a great year.
Was that a consideration for you when you were considering TU, the fact that it hasn't really gone as well as, as TU would like? Was that a
Hmm.
consideration for you?
I mean, essentially, yes. I mean, I just came from a place where, I mean, we weren't just losing, but we weren't having the best winning seasons, essentially. And so for me to come from another program where we had just rebuilt and we had just had a winning season to come into another program, I feel like it made sense. It makes sense. And like understanding that you have to put it all together, starting from the winter to the spring to the summer to the fall camp. Like you have to win the whole off season. And I think we're starting to understand that as a team, as a group, and we're really attacking this offseason.
Just to hear you talk, Micah, you sound, now you and I don't talk very often. In fact, we've only talked once before, but
Yes,
you
sir.
sound rejuvenated. Is that fair?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's it's
Definitely.
it's like a new beginning, right?
Hmm. It's
Yeah.
a it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start.
Yeah. Talk about that for a minute.
To be honest, I feel like it was needed. It was well needed. At times, life it goes up and down. It goes up and down for us athletes as well. So I just definitely feel like this was a great opportunity for me to revamp myself, rebrand myself. I mean, the brand was already I wouldn't say it was perfect. It was already good, but I just felt like it was a little down. I was a little down, the confidence wasn't there as much. So just having the opportunity to come back and revamp myself, get to where I need to be, like I'm excited. I'm ecstatic.
Was it tough to leave A&M because coming out of high school, Micah, you could have gone almost anywhere in the country. You chose to go there. Was it tough to leave?
Yes, it was tough to leave. It was tough to leave. I mean, everything that I built down there, all the relationships that I built, the coaches, the bonds, everything that I've learned down there, like it will never be forgotten. It will never be forgotten. A&M for sure will always have a special heart in my place just for accepting me for those 2 years of my beginning of my career. But it was definitely hard. It was definitely hard.
When you enter the portal, do you sit down with your did you let the A&M coaches know first, or is that even how it works, or do you just enter the portal and they know? Like how does that work?
No, so the way we do it, we had exit meetings. So it was like an opportunity for you to get in and meet with the coaches, and then you can express to them however you feel, what needs to be changed, and what you want to do moving forward. So I had the opportunity to meet with Coach Elko, my position coach, Coach Wiggins, and yeah. So we had the exit meeting, and I told him I was going to be leaving. Wish me the best, and here we are.
Yeah. And they were, and it was a good productive conversation there. Obviously the transfer portal
Mhm.
is kind of a college football reality. So I would imagine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's at times it can be sticky. It can be sticky at times, and I think as some players and some coaches, some people they go about it the wrong way, and that's why I could tend to rub off the wrong way. But I feel like during my process and me going to the step where I was getting into the portal, I feel like I went about it the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. How frustrating was it to not get maybe the playing time that you're used to, not get the catches that you're used to? You were there for 2 years. That's a long time. I imagine that's pretty frustrating.
It's I don't know. It's like it's frustrating. It's frustrating, especially like when you're persistent in practice and like you're showing up every day in practice, like you're doing everything you need to behind the scenes, and people are not seeing that, but you're not able to show up, when it matters. You're not able to do what you've been practicing on like consistently from the week all the way leading up to the game. So it became frustrating, and like your confidence, it can start to go down. But I can definitely say from year one to year two, there was a separation and how I handled that. Like from going to, okay, this is my first year coming out of high school, not playing as much. Like, how do I adapt to this? from year two to being okay, like, yeah, I'm not playing as much, but I'm still ready for like whenever I am called. So it was definitely like just a mental shift of having it to like, okay, like you got to be resilient. Like it's not going to always be up. It's going to be down sometimes. So you just got to be able to shake back and shake back strong.
Did you learn anything about yourself from your experience at A&M?
I definitely did. Stronger than what I think. Stronger than what a lot of people think.
What'd you learn?
I'm more resilient of a person that I think I am. I can be great in this game too. I can be great in this game too. It's just a lot that it's just so different. Like when you practice, and like you're seeing what you can do, but like you're not able to show in the game. So it was just definitely just like my confidence went up. My confidence went up for sure.
How do you develop a rapport with your new quarterbacks? Is that just a function of reps and that will come, or are there other factors?
I mean, reps for sure, because you want to get the muscle memory down, the physical part of the game down too, but mentally too. I feel like with Kirk, Tim, every quarterback that we have here, it was all about mental reps, just seeing like, okay, when I'm doing a 6-step out, like when is your throwing time? Like when are you looking my way to throw? It was just little details that we just had to work the kinks out. So it was good to from when I first got down and when I first committed to TU, they were already here back at school. And so we were already just going through like, okay, just walking through the little tempo of how we would go through the progressions. At times we would just be stationary, just catching passes. At times we would try to just do little walkthroughs like on Saturdays after a whole week of just lifting. We would just set up on Saturdays and just do walkthroughs. So it was just different little activities just to work the kinks out. I guess work out the newness too, because it's a new team. I guess I'm a new player, so it could be a little awkward trying to work, with new guys. But nah, I mean, ever since January 21st up until now, it's been a journey. It's been a journey working through every quarterback, every receiver, just getting the offense to where it needs to be. It's been a journey.
Well, you probably know you and Kirk are both Tulsa guys. You probably know him a little bit, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We play 7-on-7 together.
Okay, okay. So I
Mhm.
imagine that sort of helps in the relationship development.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
not as foreign.
Yeah. Has anybody, you've talked about journey and growth and all the things you've talked about today, Micah. Has anybody sort of been a confidant that's helped you through these last couple of years?
I could definitely say my family, like my village for sure. My mom, my dad, my brother Miles. They've really helped pour into me a lot, especially like because nobody sees like when you're going through the bad side, like nobody sees that. So just for them to always be able to keep me up, like keep my head right. They've been nothing but help. And I can definitely say my old roommate, Torian York, my old roommate, Torian York. That was my dog. I mean, we lived together, of course, but like when you're living with someone else whose situation is not typically the same as you, when you're talking about your situation, you're explaining your situation, or vice versa, he's explaining his, it could come off as like, okay, he might not be jealous, or, like, because
Mhm.
it's two different situations. But just to have him, somebody who was young like me, and be able to cipher through those different thoughts and like come back together the next day, okay, like let's go attack. It was good just having him there because like I'm 6.5 hours away from home, so I'm not able to see my family as much as often as Torian is. But Torian was always there and was like that brother to me. Like his family always checked on me, everything. So just having him there too while my village was back at home, trying to make sure I'm lifted up, it was just good. It was a good bond. It was a good mesh.
So we're not too far away from spring practice. What kind of things are you working on currently?
Currently, releases, working on timing in my routes, speed, getting out of the top of end, the brakes, um, shoot, and really just putting the playbook all together.
Do you worry about being rusty at all?
No, when
Yeah.
you're constantly attacking at it, or at least just getting 1% better, not even 10%, 1% better daily. No. Mm-mm.
Your Hornets had a nice turnaround last year. You've been following them?
Yes, yes, I have a little bit. Yes.
That's probably nice to see. I know you're true to your school. You and I talked about that a couple years ago. How does it feel to see the Hornets doing what they're doing?
Man, it's good. It's good. I mean, I feel like all the young guys, they're starting to put all they started putting all the pieces together. Shoot, not even just football, basketball too.
Yeah.
You know, you got a little Jock Mitchell, Barron. So I feel like the whole sports they're starting to get more competitive, show that edge, show that grit. So I like it. I like where it's at right now.
And Micah, you and I talked about this 2 years ago, and it's only continued to be the case.
Mhm.
What do you think about all the transferring in high schools now?
It's a little foreign. It's just too early. I mean, me personally, I didn't want to transfer from Texas A&M, but like, I mean, I had to. It wasn't that I just, oh, I'm gonna just transfer just because, like, no, like, I was put in a position to where it was like, if I don't leave, like, I probably won't get the betterment out of my football career. So I just feel like people like need to start making more conscious decisions on the portal side. Like, just don't just get in the portal just because it's not going your way. Like sometimes you're gonna have to go through trials, tribulation. Like you're gonna have to go through the journey. It's going to be a journey if you really want it.
That's an important lesson, isn't it?
Mhm.
Because I
You
mean,
have to
it,
stay resistant. I mean, you have to be resilient. Like that's just in anything. You're going to get knocked back down. Like you got to get back up though.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, hey, Mike, I know you need to go here soon. Really appreciate your time. Great to talk to you again. Hopefully, we can talk again soon.
Yes,
Best of
sir.
luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And next time, hopefully our talk is in person.
Sounds great. We'll do it.
Yes, sir.